When I first started doing this 0-30 stuff a little over a month ago, the first thing I finished, well, I didn't actually finish it. The combination baggage coach that I made was missing some crucial details when I published its video, since I rushed it out to meet the deadline I had set for myself, knowing I'd make a quick follow-up video in a week or two. Or, more accurately, thinking I would make a follow-up video in a week or two. Unfortunately, it's been a lot longer than that, and there's a reason. My father recommended we use some Solvaset to help the decal set in faster. You might recall Solvaset from our first video. It's what we used to remove the original decals because it was so potent. Yeah, I don't know why he thought this was a good plan, and nor do I know why I agreed with him on this one. And unfortunately, we paid the price. The decals that we tried this technique on are damaged beyond repair, meaning we have to go for the frustrating plan B, use some other decals. And I really do mean frustrating. I was hoping to use the specific decals I had used in the first video, and I'm still miffed about this turn of events. But, well, it's never healthy to dwell on our troubles, and the fact is, even if I'm frustrated by this, it's still a salvageable situation. So, let's go ahead and salvage it, shall we? Let's get into the rebuild. To remove the decals damaged by the Solvaset, we used, you guessed it, more Solvaset. This stripped some of the paint off of the car, but that was easy enough to touch up with another coat or two. Once those coats had dried, I re-decaled the side of the car. Unfortunately, we didn't have any direct replacements for the damaged decals, meaning instead of using the original name, number, and baggage markings, we had to use a secondary option. I went for number 63, the name Rustin, and just a standard baggage identifier. Sadly, while adding these decals, I accidentally ripped off the name decal off camera by grabbing the car from the wrong angle, resulting in another necessary decal replacement. This time, I went with the town name of Mysop. I didn't want to use this name because it's one of the two towns that will appear on the final layout, but the name is a combination of the words missed opportunities, M-I-S-O-P, Mysop, and sounds kinda like mishap, which very much describes my experience with this car in particular, so I guess it fits. We're gonna jump around chronologically here. Before the decal accident even happened, and therefore before I figured out the better camera angle for these videos, we actually got the passengers and put them all in place. These are just some standard Bachmann O-scale seated passengers. They're cut off beneath the knees, since you really aren't going to look into the car very often from an angle where you can notice such a detail. We were going to use some new glue I haven't tried before, but it turns out the stuff my dad had was all dried up, so I just went with good old-fashioned canopy glue instead. Tried, true, and trusty. Back to the quote-unquote present, I decided to add a little bit of dirt and grime to the bottom of the coach, just to give it more texture and make it feel like it was well used. In reality, most passenger cars were painted green because it decently matched the color of the dirt and grime these cars would collect over time. Hilariously, for a model, it's kind of the inverse. I painted it green because I thought it looked nice, and then added grimy colors and tried to make them somewhat match that green, so it didn't stick out too much. In the end, I chose to go with Pan Pastel Burnt Umber as my grime of choice. With that, we were already on to assembling the car. Well, kind of. You have to remember that there was a whole other episode before this point, but anyways, first came the windows. The baggage door and the end door windows don't hold themselves in very well, so some canopy glue helps to keep them from falling out and rattling around the inside of the car. As for the passenger windows, those things snap into place with a little clip on the wall, and the bottom is held steady by the floor, so there's no need to glue them in, especially in case there's another decal issue down the line. Foreshadowing at its finest, as a few snaps, some fiddling with these little pieces, and a bit of off camera swearing later, and another decal had been removed. The car was starting to take shape at least, but my track record is kind of terrible with these things. This time, however, I removed it myself for two reasons. One, I kind of needed something to do while I waited for my father to be ready to help me with soldering the lighting back in. I'm not quite comfortable soldering things myself just yet. Two, the old decal that I had put on correctly was set in permanently crooked, and it was really irritating me. It was just one letter. The rest of it was fine, but this one letter just wanted to taunt me for some reason. Tearing it off and just using a spare was the easiest way to fix the problem, and we had several spares by now with how many times I'd screwed up my intended sets of decals. Once that had dried overnight, my father was finally ready to help solder the lighting back together. It wasn't that long before he was done, so we set the train on my father's model railroad to test the lighting. Not that it was a hard joint to solder together, but hey, better to be safe and test everything than to be sorry that you didn't test, right?
It's lighting up.
Good. Glad to hear that. Not surprised.
With the lighting working, all I had to do was just put the roof back in place. One hand holding the camera while I tried to do this just didn't work out. But you know what did work out? The overall look of this car. I'm still salty we screwed this up big time.
Are you serious right now? Really?
But I'm also still proud of the end result and happy to say we've got another project done and are ever so slightly closer to getting a full mixed freight train painted up and ready to run on our final layout. I don't really have much else to show you today. Like and subscribe, I guess. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, folks.